For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast. The 40 years of playing PlayStation and 10 plus years in the game's meaning. I want to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. But if you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, come and check out our socials. I don't think Facebook exists yet, but Discord, Instagram, and Twitter, all of those things will get used at at variable times and locations. But check those links out in the description below.
Yeah, I haven't done the Facebook page yet. I've been really lazy. Even like now that the old one got deleted because after being taken over, whatever.
With Tentacular it is. I'm surprised someone hasn't snagged that name up already.
Oh man, people can't even say it right, let alone spell it right. Isn't it? We're fine. But if you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to the twitch.tv/popcultures where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. If you are listening on podcast service, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you watch us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. And if you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/popculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you buy shirts, other assorted shit with our logos on it. It's a good point though, Max. Like with, having to make a new Facebook page after the one got taken away from us by buttholes that change passwords and emails on people. Like, could we just brand it as For the Players? Because that's kind of the only thing we do now.
Probably
should, eh? Should we just change the YouTube channel? Like, not the Pop Culture, it's just For the Players?
That may get us copyright struck a lot more.
Very, very good. Why is Ryan so quiet? I don't know. It's a very good question. Let me do this. How's that? Probably a bit better now?
Blows everyone's ears out.
Yeah. Thanks, Puck. I appreciate the interest in me wanting me to be louder. Very few people actually ever want that, so it's a fascinating choice on your part. Man, speaking of sound like poo though, you sound like poo.
Yeah, your boy got sick.
Yeah, like out of nowhere too.
Yeah, well, Hadley's had a sniffly nose for on and off for 2 weeks. I had it about 2 weeks ago. And it literally, I had it for 12 hours and then it was gone.
Yeah.
It was sweet. And then last night, Hadley took a turn for the worst, fucking threw up everywhere. It was gnarly as. And then
I turn for the worst makes it sound like she's fucking died.
I woke up the next morning with fucking painful sinuses, a really fucking sore back. I could barely get off the fold out couch this morning. It was I've got a lot of shit to do this week. So for the past, I'm going to transition into what the fuck we've been doing this week. I'm getting ready to move.
Yes.
So out the front of my house is a big fuck off skip bin.
It is a fuck off skip bin. I've seen it in person.
I have a feeling that there's been some fucking bin ninjas throwing some shit in my skip bin.
Mm.
But that's neither here nor there. So over the last week, I've been cleaning up the house, getting ready to move, starting to pack shit that doesn't get used often. Throwing away all the rubbish. The garage is being cleaned out. The lounge room's done. The dining room's done. All that shit's been done.
That is the cleanest I've ever seen your garage.
All that's left is to do this room that I'm in now. So I've been going through all my old shit. I've got old computer boxes from 4 PCs ago, because apparently I just hoard my boxes. I've got my old Xbox box. I've got my 2 PlayStation 4 boxes, and I don't even own 2 PlayStation 4s anymore. I've just got shit upon shit upon shit. So I'm going through everything. I'm trying to sell off some old stuff that doesn't get used anymore. If anyone wants an old PSVR1, hit me up. I'll hook you up with sweet deals. I've had no less than fucking 20 pay ID scammer fucks on Facebook Marketplace in under 3 hours. It's no, just for everything, man. And they all use the same script. It's I'm super busy at work. And you go to their profile and this prick lives in fucking Germany or Greece. And he's like, my son can pick it up. Do you have pay ID? And I'm like, pay ID your son and get him to give me cash. And it's he just leaves. It's well, just get some new material, you fucks. And all my ads say cash only too. And they're like, pay ID? You know, pay ID? And then the guy's like, because I was bored, I went through with one of them. He's like, "Oh, I sent the money, but you don't have a business pay ID account, so you have to transfer me $500 to upgrade yours, and then the extra $500 will come through and be released once yours is upgraded." I'm like, "I have a business account already. Are you sending yours for a business account?" And then he sent me his ABN number and a bunch of bank details from his bank, and I'm like, "Thanks, dude."
You just DDoSed yourself. Yeah, what a ledge. Thanks, man.
They're so dumb. I feel for the people who fall for this, because like Pay ID is kind of a legitimate thing, but Pay ID also never email you directly. It's always through your own bank.
Yeah.
Like if
Well, I don't have it.
it.
Like a couple of times that I've bought some stuff through Marketplace, and people are like, "Hey, do you?" As in like me buying from them. They're like, "Hey, do you use Pay ID?" I'm like, "No, I'm old. I'll bank transfer. I'll give it to you in your hand." Like,
Yeah.
I bank like or PayPal. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll PayPal you."
Yeah.
Because PayPal is like really good in terms of their security. Like if it goes somewhere it shouldn't, you get it back. So yeah, you either get PayPal, bank transfer, or I put it in your fucking hand.
So I'm just fucking over it. Like we're trying to sell a bunch of stuff that's not coming to the new house with us. So we've got like a mint dining room table, a coffee table that fucking no one wants, and it's getting to the point where I'm just like if you come to the front of my house now, there's like 4 computer chairs sitting.
I did see that. And I looked at and went, "Oh, I don't need these."
A TV unit. One
Half
of the bikes
BMX.
one of the mountain bike got taken last night.
Oh, that's nice.
So I think we're gonna end up doing like a hard rubbish collection as well.
Yeah.
The skip bin's getting pretty full on.
Because like I remember when I was at university, like my entire bedroom, aside from my bed, was like furniture that I'd picked up from the side of the road when I lived in inner city Melbourne, and it was really nice because like when I moved out, and I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, I'll just put the shit that I had back on the street," and then within like an hour it was gone. I'm like, that's the circle of life.
It's like that episode of How I Met Your Mother.
The barrel. Yeah.
The Bermuda Triangle from the curb. You fucking drop it out there and it disappears.
It was good. It was a very nice clothes rack, storage wardrobe thing, a little bedside table. Fucking yeeted those thing out of there. Good times.
The biggest problem I'm running into is you can't put electrical waste in the skip bin. So I've just got like a bunch of fucking cables and old keyboards and fucking hard drives and shit that I just can't get rid of. I'm gonna have to bag it all up.
Oh, you don't want to get rid of those hard drives. That's where you get all the evidence. That's where you're gonna get cancelled if someone finds that.
Well, I mean, one of them's from my old MacBook that I had like 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's a good point. Probably get rid of that, eh? Yeah.
Like, I just
do what Michael Schofield did at the beginning of Prison Break, where he just yeets it into a river.
Tattoo blueprints on myself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That. Yeah. But in the blueprints, in the tattooed blueprints, where to find the hard drive in which river.
So, that's been my week. So I haven't really played a whole lot this week because I've been doing house shenanigans. I'd also like to point out I don't actually have a move date yet.
Yeah, it is very interesting.
I'm just getting myself prepared.
Yeah, you're psyching yourself up so when the day comes, you're like, sweet, I got a week, let's go.
I may have to ring them and be like, if you fucks aren't done soon, I'm gonna break a window and I'm moving in.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna charge you the window. Well, you own the window, so you could.
Actually, it may be one of the parts of the house that I don't quite own yet because I've still got like a couple of $1,000s left to pay for the final payment to get the key.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Maybe I don't own that specific window or the door that I kick
just
in.
be like, hey, can you let me know what things this last payment pays for? Not windows? Sweet.
Maybe it's the garage door that's still not on the fucking house, or the driveway that still hasn't been laid.
Yeah, you're not moving in for at least a month.
Well, they're saying March.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
We're basically in March. There's like 2 days left of February.
Even.
So yeah, we'll see.
Not even.
How's your week been? Oh, and actually, I should mention, I saw Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Yeah, transphobe.
Fucking mint.
I want to see it so bad, eh?
It's so gay, and I loved it.
Yeah, like you and I were talking about it this morning. Oh, fucking day was yesterday. At time of recording. Yeah, because like I wanted to go pre-COVID, I think, and then post-COVID, but that's when it was 2 shows, like 2 3-hour shows, and it was like $400 each. Like, what the fuck is this? And now it's like, now it's cut in half, and $200.
Yeah.
And like,
I would love to know what got cut.
Yeah, well, because I don't have the script book, so I haven't read it. I have no idea what actually happens. But yeah, the last thing I went and saw, like play that I saw, was the Book of Mormon. That was pretty brilliant. So like, there's a high expectation of whatever comes next to at least make me like cry laughing, which I don't think Harry Potter will do.
Oh, there's some genuine laugh out loud moments. Like
Okay.
it's really good. Yeah.
But yeah, I did go see Harry Potter this week. I didn't do that. Look, yeah, my week's been a whole bunch of nothing. Yeah, went to a wrestling show last night, Saturday night. Surprise everyone who would fucking thought I went to another wrestling show. Yeah, other than that, the week has just been work and doing things, and it's all well and good.
Going through the motions.
Just existing. In short, but one thing that we have been doing this week, I've done more than you, but we'll jump on it now. Section what I've been playing. This week, PlayStation VR2 dropped on Wednesday. We picked it up. I didn't have to suck any dick in this entire campaign of promising to suck Wang to pay for this thing. Not one Wang sucks.
Unsure if bonus or not.
Yeah, I either it means that I win, or I'm that unappealing that no one would pay me to get all up in their wang. So it's a roller coaster of emotions, if I'm being honest. Yeah. So we all paid it off. We did put a big hunk of it down to our patrons. A big thank you to those supporters on Patreon. And it's really only like 4 people. They just clearly forgot that they still have it. And I haven't cashed out any money on it in like 8 months because I keep forgetting that we have it. Apart from saying, like, I haven't updated on our Patreon in like since 2021, I think.
How good is recurring payments?
Yeah, man. And look, as I said, we don't promise shit with our Patreon, like, at all. They just pay it if you want to, But yeah, no, a thank to that, they was able to take a big hunk out of it for us, which was really cool. So yeah, there's an unboxing video here on the channel, which is pretty cool. So I got to open it, and it all kind of fell on me because I was, trying to do it in this camera setup, and it was a whatever. But yeah, so PSVR's out. I've spent, most definitely more time with it than you. So who's going to chat first?
You go first. You gush about it so I can.
You can poop on it.
Poop on it.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So look, in terms of what obviously we've had access to both PSVR 1 and PSVR 2. I was a day one adopter of PSVR 1. You got yours a bit later on because you've got the sweet HDR pass through, sexy boy. And I still remember the first time I played PSVR at, it was either, I think it might have been PAX 2016. I was invited to come have a look from PlayStation Australia, and the first thing I played was the PSVR Worlds, which was what would become the London Heist mission, which was fucking insane. Like, having never experienced it before, giving it a whirl, I'm like, this is mind-blowing. Now, granted, I have become a lot more generally cynical in that 7 years, Jesus Christ. In that 7 years, I've been doing this a long time, and I have nothing to show for it. Isn't that cool? 7 years, I played PSVR 1 for the first time, and here, like, it's more virtual reality, which is totally great. But what the difficulty that is explained here is, unlike general console generations where you can see a massive substantial leap from like the last thing you played on your PS3 to the next first thing you played on your PS4, this certainly has the potential to be awesome, as the gear is better, like the headset fits better, the corrugated, I think that's the word I'm looking for, the accordion style eyepiece, not perforated, because I'm a dickhead and that's the word I thought it was when I was doing the unboxing video, makes it sit better on your face, especially with glasses. The cameras on the front are amazing in terms of having to press the button and then the world still exists, and I have to take, like, because VR is all about getting in the right sweet spot. And having to take that off to check your phone or make sure you don't punch your dog or whatever, it's like, oh, well, cool, keep it in one spot, ding, press the button, comes out. The physical lens moving wheel is brilliant, as we all have different sized heads, To be able to physically move the lenses is great. So it helps you to get like the sharpest picture possible. The foveated rendering and eye tracking is fucking brilliant. It's just simply brilliant, because wherever you look is in the best focus that you can. So if you happen to nail it in terms of your setup on your face, wherever you look, it's brilliant, because it sharpens where you're looking. It's great. Absolute brilliant. One cable is so good, rather than two cables into a box without a HDMI goes in, out, and back to the TV once the PlayStation, and plus a USB charging cable. Fuck that mess. Fuck that mess so hard. One cable is brilliant. The Sense controllers are a unmeasurable improvement over the PlayStation Move ones. Not having to rely on a camera is another great win. That's one less cable. It means that you can freely walk around the room rather than having to be only where the camera can see you. And then if you happen to block one of the light things, your hand just disappears. There are, as I mentioned, like there are great technological improvements here that we will see over the long term compared to PSVR 1. Because PSVR 1 was kind of a tech test, in that, like, hey, here's kind of what it is. It's using gear that we already have with the PSVR Move. Sorry, the PS Move. Plus the camera that came with the PlayStation 4. So they were kind of low income, like as in low cost expenditure testing it. Hey, the headset's the big brunt of the cost. The camera's already available. Move controls are already available. Not a huge financial stake. Here, the entire setup's brand new, in theory, apart from the adjustments on the camera itself. But the challenge, and I know this is what you're likely to be discussing, Max, is the titles. But before we get into the games, though, what do you think about the gear?
I pretty much mirror what you say. The gear is a significant improvement on the old one. It fits better. It's way more comfortable. It's lighter.
It is, and it's a slightly smaller footprint too. Like not a lot, but just slightly smaller. Its weight dispersion's different too. It's much more up in the forehead piece rather than the front part, which makes a massive difference.
The Sense controllers are, in my opinion, too light.
They are incredibly light.
They're ridiculously light. They have to the point where they almost feel flimsy to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling those rings will probably break fairly easily if you fucking accidentally whack a wall.
Mm-hmm.
There doesn't seem to be any
into
punch
itself.
behind them.
Like I was trying to reload something in Resident Evil. And,
So the amount of times I let my younger cousin play, he's 12. The amount of times he punched himself in the face trying to fucking draw an arrow in Call of the Wild was astronomical.
That's awesome because he's 12 and that's funny when kids get hurt.
But yeah, the equipment itself is just an unparalleled improvement to what PSVR was.
Even down to be able to select the room space, because you can room scale as much as you want.
So it does have a whinge if your area is smaller than 2x2, but it will allow you to play in an area that's smaller than 2x2. So I essentially have a rug in my lounge room, which is where I was playing PSVR, and I drew the outline of the rug. I'm like, this is where I want to play. So I took my shoes off and I'm like, I know if I've left the play area because my feet is going to go from carpet to floorboards. And they're like, nah, dude, it's less than 2x2. And I'm like, just fucking do it anyway. It'll be fun. And it was fine. Like, it was fine. I just couldn't step backwards and forwards as much as I could go left to right, which again is fine for most of the titles I was playing, because most of the titles I was playing uses either pull to move or use the thumbsticks. There wasn't really any room scale things that I was playing.
So yeah, like for me, I just moved my coffee table and kind of made a big square because I've got one of those L-shaped couches in this big sort of open area. So I was like, I'll just do this part, and there we go. And yeah, I had no issue, and like I found myself walking around and knowing that I could freely do so. And because you can also alter the sensitivity, because my understanding is it's very similar to how the Quest works, for what you're telling me. As using the cameras at the front, reads the room, and then goes, all right, well, here are some pretend walls that tells you that this is where you can and can't put your hand. One of the great things I really enjoyed when you boot it up and goes, hey, can you like scan the room? So you look around and almost like Aloy's focus from Horizon Zero Dawn, and like little hex triangle shapes and stuff start like scanning the geometry of the room, so it knows what a couch is, and it has an idea of like, hey, what's in this space, even down to like the light that's above my head in the middle of my lounge room. It knows that it's above me, so if I put my hand up too high, it goes oi, which is very cool. Very, very cool.
It also has a massive whinge if there's more than one player in the room when you're scanning it.
Yeah, so
it cracks the shit. It's real bad. It's like there's fucking more of you than just you, dude. It's like, it's fine. Just let it happen.
See, I had one other person in the room, and they were sitting on the carpet, kind of in the space, and then it wigged out. It's like when it did the little scan room, it scanned over them, and even scanned over my air conditioning unit, my little plug-in portable air. I was like, oh, this is fucking weird. But having that little play space is cool. Like, once again, not having to rely on cameras, because my TV it sits in like a corner of the room. So trying to mount a camera on it to come out, excuse me, to make a play area would be near impossible. Where here, I can make whatever I want. It's awesome. But, so the gear itself, exceptional. Much, much improved. However, as it launched, this week, and there's like 30-something games allegedly in the launch window, 80-90% of them are already available on Quest. So for like myself, who hasn't played a lot of any Quest, and I've played any VR outside of PSVR, all of these are relatively brand new to me, which is great. But the main PlayStation staples, which we'll get into bit by bit, are your Horizons, your GTs. So like, I guess, because you have a lot more to say around sort of some skepticism around the game, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, so the issue I have, and I'm hoping that they fix this down the track. I hope this gets way more support than what the PSVR 1 had, especially at the price point that they introduced this thing at, because $850 is no fucking spare change.
No, it
isn't. The issue is, like, this thing performs just as well, if not better than the Quest. Why aren't we getting a lot of the games that are on Quest that are awesome?
I think we will.
I hope we will. I really do. And at the moment, like, the first thing I wanted to play were some of my old PSVR titles that I can't play because they're not supported yet. So I have like Beat Saber, which is like a staple VR game. Everyone knows how to play it. It's the most user-friendly pick up and play game to show people how cool VR can be. I have another game called Audica, which is kind of the same thing as
Beat Saber, but it's like guns.
You got ray guns. It's cool. Like, they're very simple, straightforward game. Can't play that either. Now we know that a Beat Saber version is on the way. Like, they've said that it's coming. And like, we were lucky enough to be provided a few codes to games, which, again, big thank you to those teams. So we had access to Resident Evil 8. We had access to GT7. We had access to Horizon
we'll go through
Mountain,
them all
and all that stuff. But those big VR titles that are out there winning awards and stuff, just that could feasibly run on a PSVR2 system, just don't exist yet.
And you are absolutely correct. However, I would argue that will come. Now,
I do hope
should
so.
it be?
I honestly do hope so.
Well, I
don't necessarily need it at launch, but like, give us something to look forward to. Like, I know obviously there was a few in the state of play, which we'll talk about soon. But I just have this concern that they're going to do exactly what PSVR 1 did and just fucking blow their load at the start and then just have this weird drip of bullshit.
From a first party perspective, yes, that is a genuine and accurate concern. But from a third party throughput, I would disagree. Now, PSVR is a very different beast because in order to make that game run, they essentially had to redo it, or at least rebuild it in order for it to work with the move wands, the light cameras, the light sensors, etc. Right? Unfeasible. Like, if someone was like, hey, can you port this game that works on everything but this one platform to this platform? No, it is not worth the time, money, or investment, right? However, now, in theory, once again, I'm not a developer, I don't know dick. in theory, it should be easy to go back because the Sense controllers are very similar to like the HTC Vive controllers, or the Oculus controllers, like at least in premise, right? And practicality might be slightly different, but in terms of no lights, all those little those little major hindrances will no longer be a factor. So I can see a lot of people starting to roll out their games onto PSVR2, especially over the coming months. Would they want to do it at launch? No. There's already 30 games, and PSVR games, or VR games in general, are already a pretty high price for kind of what they are. Like, games are expensive, period, especially here in Australia, when the upper price of a standard game is $125. The idea of like $70 VR games is pretty crazy. Like that Star Wars game's like $79. I'm like, I don't know, but it's just one of those things. And thankfully, there's a lot of demos at launch too. But if I was a developer, I wouldn't want to get into the launch window because you're competing with 30 fucking games minimum, right? We know there's at least 30. There's just a staggering amount more. So I would wait. I'd wait a little bit, let everyone get units in their hands as they need to, and then start drip feeding it out. Like if you can put it out, a couple weeks later when everyone's played all their launch games that are appealing, success. Here's something new to play. Bing. So people, if people are already itching for it, interested in it, give it to them a little bit later. You don't want that front load, as you mentioned. Now, PlayStation's long-term support on this, who knows? Because the only major game that they're adding at the moment, or even discussing from a first-party standpoint, is Horizon. And GT7 got work done just to support it. But outside of that, like Firesprite have a history. Obviously we call them Mountain, but also in that VR space. But they've spent their entire time working on this game. So like, what is there? What else is there? Who knows? I'm not feeling confident in that space.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you look at the big games on that are on VR. Like, if I had a choice of playing like big ass game like Half-Life Alyx at launch, like that's obviously the title I'm going to pick over the 30 other.
Exactly, but that's exactly why you wouldn't put that out at launch, because it would eat everyone else's lunch.
This is
But yeah, I would argue by June, Half-Life Alyx will be on that headset.
Yeah, and like I said before, the state of play that happened this week showed some pretty cool stuff that's coming in the pipeline. But for now, it does seem kind of lackluster, especially when I own a lot of PSVR games already that I enjoy that I just can't play now.
Yeah.
Hopefully a lot of those do get reworked. I again, we're not developers. I don't know how hard it is to just be like, fuck the light bar off. You don't need it anymore. Just fucking waggle stick.
Yeah, change some settings, like tick some boxes or whatever, right? That's how most development works.
But it just depends on how monetarily feasible that is to essentially give. And then it's like, do we give them free upgrades for that, or do we make them repurchase the game?
And that's the other thing, like, or is it $10 upgrade? Thumper's, I think, like a $7 upgrade, and Thumper's sick. I'd pay $7 more for Thumper.
So it's one of those things. It's like,
or a Moss, which is
are we now going to re-upgrade our PlayStation Plus things to include a VR game per month again, like they used to at the start of the launch for PSVR 1? Are we going to get some VR games happening there? But again, the list is pretty curated at the moment, so that's probably unlikely.
Yeah, once again, as we said, it is like 4 days into the thing, right? There is a bunch of time for them to destroy it.
Yeah, but again, it's still very cool equipment.
Yeah.
It's more of the same, but way better. But yeah, it's just one of those things, like, the price tag is very steep for what you can currently do with it.
Oh, most definitely. But that's it's cool tech, early adoption. That's kind of right. Well, let's go through beat by beat, right, in terms of some of the games. So obviously, one of the biggest selling points for this game is Horizon Call of the Mountain. It's made by Guerrilla, or Firesprite, in conjunction with Guerrilla, and it is the what they want to essentially be the system seller. It comes in the box, if you want it to. You play a Shadow Carja named Rias. You're being prisoner transported at the beginning of the game, and then hell breaks loose, and then you got a bunch of shit to do in order to get your immunity. Is essentially what I picked of it. Now, you haven't played the beginning of the game because you have
I've seen the beginning of the game 3 times.
Yeah.
So I haven't personally experienced it, but I've seen it. So I kind of jumped in as you gain autonomy over the character. So I skipped the first, like, essentially cutscene where you're not moving, you're kind of just taking in the view, which is fun.
However, I will argue that opening cutscene was fucking awesome. And that's one of the first things that we ever saw of Call of the Mountain in its original state of play or showcase, whenever the hell it was. And it's designed to show the scale of this world. In that, you're like, oh, look at that, look how big the watches are way bigger than I thought they were. Grazers are huge. A tall neck is ginormous, and it looks really cool in VR when you look up and you see the undercarriage of this giant tall neck, and you're like, that's a rubber penis. But other than that, it's the game is very, very cool. Other than that, as you and I highlighted when we were discussing this morning, whatever the hell it was, not on air. Like, it kind of is, yeah, you just get thrown into sort of this world. There's a lot of the standard VR tropes, like climbing, shooting a bow, a lot of the gimmicky sort of stuff, which is fine. Because it's, Call of the Mountain, a lot of it is climbing up mountains and looking off ledges. And as someone who has a pretty gnarly fear of heights, that wasn't very fun. But you know what was fun? Throwing any loose object off that cliff. There was an option where I say, hey, feel free to decorate this wall. So what did I draw? I drew a penis because I am a child, and I drew it and I chuckled and I wrote my name next to it. That's very fun. And then I did a thing where I threw an apple in the air and I tried to with the bow. It took me a couple of goes, but I got it. I did it with plates, did it with like lids of things, like a pot. I don't know. I just kind of had fun with it in that space. Is it revolutionary? Probably not. Is it fun? Yeah. But like the gimmick of climbing, the shimmy, reach, shimmy, oh, don't fall, reach, is a bit, but getting in there and then having those moments where you get to just like start ripping arrows at robo dinosaurs is mint. At least personally. Story is fine. I haven't finished it because I wanted to sample as many games as I could coming into today's episode. So I've not finished one game yet, but I have a good bit to say about all those things. So what was your thoughts on it, Max?
It was fine. I don't think it's the system seller that they want it to be.
That is very true.
The game's not bad. It is fine. It shows off all the capabilities of the headset quite well, but it's nothing that we haven't kind of already seen before in PSVR1 titles. It just works better because as you're shimmying, the controllers aren't fucking wigging out.
Yeah.
To stow and draw your bow, you have to put the controller over your shoulder and pull it forward and pull it back. If you did that with the move wands, it'd fucking wig out because you're blocking the bloody light bulb.
Yeah.
Like, it showed that all those things that everyone had problems with PSVR 1 have been fixed and rectified, but they're not doing anything new. There's no super wow factor apart from the wow, I can kind of see how tall these motherfuckers are now.
I would argue that like
I'm super cynical when it comes to VR shit.
You are still true. You are still correct. However, the increased resolution, fidelity, and frame rate,
everything looks stunning, and the eye tracking, assisted aim, and all that stuff is fucking awesome. I did have to change some settings. The main setting I changed was auto rotate camera when climbing up mountain, because there's times where you have to literally climb around a corner, and if you don't have that on, it sometimes wigs out when you're trying to look around the corner and reach at the same time. So I turned the auto pathing on for the camera as I'm climbing, so it just follows me around, which was cool.
I did try to stick my face through a wall and went, "Hey, your face is in geometry." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." I wanted to peek through a locked door.
It did soft lock me at one point, so I picked stick based movement because teleport movement makes me sick. So I was moving the stick, and then it's like, "Hey, would you like to try the other movement option?" I'm like, "Sure." Probably the reason why I get sick is because of the garbage resolution on PSVR1. Let's try it. So it forces you into the option and grays everything else out except for what you're trying to do. Problem was, it grayed everything out. I couldn't leave the menu. Couldn't change any of the settings. I had to physically turn everything off and reboot it and try again. So I haven't changed the movement set yet. I'm still using stick movement. But again, the game is cool. I don't think it's that super awesome system seller. It's definitely worth picking up as it's one of the big name first party titles for PSVR2. But don't expect crazy fireworks because it's good but not great.
I'd agree.
I feel really I feel like I'm being a real bummer here, but yeah, when it comes to, because I've played a lot of VR, this seems to be just slightly subpar to what we could get elsewhere. And I understand that, for the most part, these guys don't make VR games. Like, that's not their shtick. They make third-person action adventure games that are brilliant.
Yeah.
And sometimes that doesn't translate across great.
And I think, and this is probably one of the, we'll touch upon this now as we continue to talk through these games. Like, there are a lot of alterations.
I think I enjoyed some of the third-party games more than...
Yeah. There's a lot of restriction. There's a lot of concessions is the word I want. A lot of concessions that have to be accounted for when it comes to putting something in virtual reality. And with that, alters the experience. So like Horizon, brilliant game. Put it in VR. Well, there's a lot of things you can't quite do in this. You can't duck, weave, and all build traps and all this sort of stuff that you would normally. It just doesn't translate. Just a series of fucking bodily functions at the moment. So there's that, which is a thing. But yeah, look, it's pretty good. It is very good. Like I said, once again, you and I've not played VR since, what's the last thing we reviewed? Vader Immortal, I think.
Yeah, I think Vader
Might have been
Immortal
something after that, but I'm pretty sure it was Vader Immortal when that came to PlayStation. VR. It's too many cables for me. I don't go out of my way to play it. But like coming back to it, I was like, oh man, I forgot how rad this is. And like the setup's so easy that I just don't fucking care anymore. But as Phoebe, my partner in the chat, she jumps in and goes, as someone who's never done VR before though, Horizon was incredible. It was beautiful. It had beautiful scenery, and I had fun climbing and exploring. And that's exactly the point. So you and I are coming at it from this is the other challenge that we have in general when it comes to us talking about games, etc. Is that we're very lucky. We've been in this space for a very, very long time. We have had access to a series of games for a very, very long time. We kind of just forget the little luxury boutiqueness of what we do kind of works in our favor. Where here, if someone hadn't played VR before and that's the first thing they experience, they're going to shit themselves. I can't confirm whether Phoebe shat herself or not, but I hear she had a pretty good time. So it's one of those things, right? So it's cool. It's fine. But the other one they had is GT7. Now, I am not going to try it, nor will I even consider trying it, because I get car sick in a real car. I don't need to get car sick in my lounge room.
I played it.
Did you get car sick in your lounge room?
Well, it was a very slow start. So, for any of you people who have played GT7, there's a fucking 20-minute opening cutscene about the history of cars. And my dumbass assumed that the VR mode would use the fucking VR controllers. It doesn't. So you can't fucking skip the thing because I was using the wrong controller. It just uses the DualSense. The entire VR mode is you playing the game in first person only with the controller. And you can look around the inside of your car. You can see your fucking wang when you're driving. You can look down at your feet.
So I'm glad the 2 out of 2 games we've talked about so far, touched upon wangs.
When you drift, you can look out the window so you can see if the arse of your car is going to go off the fucking racetrack. Like, unless you're like a hardcore racing sim fan, this VR mode is just phoned in.
Yeah, being able to like gear shift
just,
or whatever. Because like one of the greatest things about the demo that I played, the London Heist.
Give me a virtual steering wheel. Let me play with a virtual steering wheel.
Yeah, but even then, like I said, the first thing I experienced was the London Heist, right? That mission is you're in a car and you're shooting dudes out of the car. You can open the door and shoot out the door. You can wind the window down. You can press the radio. Now, granted, Gran Turismo as a series isn't built for that. It is a sim game. But being able to simulate, steering wheel, a gear shift, like as in your feet pedals, not really a thing you can really replicate without actually having a steering wheel pedal. If you had a steering wheel set up, I think it would be an incredible experience.
Yes.
So there's that.
But as a I just sat on my couch with a headset on. Essentially it was like playing in theater mode.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that exciting.
Yeah. But yeah. So
the cars look just as good on the inside as they do on the outside. But yeah, it's super nothing special.
Excellent.
If you have it, it's cool to try out.
Yeah.
It is one of the games that shows up on both the big TV and your VR screen, so you can make everyone else in the room feel sick by just fucking going nuts. But other than
nothing
that,
like shared car vomit. Like it's it's pastime. One of the other big sellers on the headset is Resident Evil Village. Old Village, if you want to pronounce it correctly, I suppose. I think this... I haven't played the whole campaign at this point. I've probably put like 25 minutes into it. Mostly because I played it by myself at night time and it got spooky and I was scared. But I think it's a really good VR implementation.
I didn't play much of it at all. I opened it. It's like, you have to use the DualSense control. I'm like, well, fuck you.
Wait, really?
I kind of turned it off. Yeah, it said I got a message on my screen saying you cannot play this mode.
Oh, because you need to go in and download the VR update.
Is there a VR update?
Yeah, you have to literally go into you have to literally go into the PlayStation Store and like download it as DLC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like I did the same
well,
thing.
I take it back then.
Yeah,
it may be better.
Yeah, I went in going, this is fucking weird. Why can't I do anything in VR? Like, start a new game, can't do it in VR. Load game, can't do it in VR. Bonuses, can't do it in VR. How about the PSVR bonuses? Can't do it in VR. I'm like, what the fuck have I done? Go into the store and it's like, hey, you can download this VR free PSVR update. I'm like, okay, bing, blah. And yeah, and it's really...
because I re-downloaded the title, and when you download it, it says PS5, PSVR2 next to it. I'm like, okay, download that version. And it's like, you can play it, but you have to use the DualSense control. I'm like, well, that's bullshit.
Nah, I can tell you that you don't, because Art did with the Sense controllers. And it's great. Like, so it has the free movement, as you said, so you can do all the moving around, whichever. It repositions a bunch of the things on you so that you can have that more hands-on experience. So you have like a knife on your wrist, which you've got to literally pull out to get ready to go, which is fun. You've got a handgun on your hip. Or at least in the tutorial, like they give you a shotgun on one shoulder, sniper rifle on the other, and like you literally have to like pull the shotgun out, fire it manually reload the shells,
cartridges,
pump it. The sniper rifle that they have is a bolt action, so you've literally got to like look up, take the shot, pull it back, like everything. It's actually a stack of fun. The handgun's the same thing. You can if you bring your hands together, obviously you can't do it because of the sense controls, but if you bring your hands together, it simulates that you're holding it and adds a bit more stability. But it's the advanced, like being able to hold the controller adds that accuracy, immersion as well. And then even down to like the health potions, the ones where you just kind of pour it over your wound, you literally got to pick it up, you got to pop the lid off and spray it on yourself, and then head into it. It has fisty combat as well, which is fun. So with the DualSense controllers, the R1 and L1, which are the buttons internal, are touch sensitive, other than just physically pressing them in. Like you can just rest your finger on them and it delivers the same result rather than having to push the whole button in, which makes it kind of fun to quickly get your fist motion, etc. And in terms of just the overall better experience, like Resident Evil 7, really cool in PSVR, like PSVR 1. However, the lower resolution of that screen, which is what 1080p, compared to the 4K in the PSVR2, the low light scenarios of PSVR of Resident Evil 7 and made that screen door effect horrendous. Horrendous. Here, because for those of you that played Resident Evil Village, like you start the game, you know, experiencing the opening of that game, by the way, in VR, fucking Chris Redfield kicks that door in and shoots the living shit out of the woman. Holy fuck, is that harrowing in person? Jesus Christ. Oh, so cool. But then, you know, you're driving, you're in a van crashes, it's snow, you're in the forest, it's pitch fucking black, you've got your torchlight, it's snow, like, as you walk through, you've got the 3D sound, the snow crunches under your feet, trees are getting in your way, you see some werewolf looking thing run past you. It's fucking intense. There's a reason I stopped playing after the tutorial. Because
I'll definitely re-download it properly, and when I get custody again next weekend, because you're at
I got
wrestling again.
3 wrestling shows next week, so
I will play it properly.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'm not so fucking sick.
Yeah,
and I'm on holidays then too, so I can party a bit harder.
Says
because I got fucking 2.5 weeks off as of Wednesday.
Woo. But yeah, no, the PSVR, like I haven't seen the big, tall, big titty goth woman yet, Lady Dimitrescu, but I imagine it will be arousing, and I'm looking very much forward to it. And then I'll see that weird fucking gross creature in the third world in the
Is that like he's gonna get that far playing it in VR?
No, yeah, it's true. I'll probably just collectively shit myself. But by the time I get to the third area, and then I see that big blob monster, and then I get, suddenly it's all, sexual again. Can't wait.
What about the fucking gross baby in the second
one? That's going to be the ultimate sexual, that weird gross baby. Ugh. Be the most uncomfortable boner. It'll be awesome. But no, like, in terms of because straight up adaptation, it's pretty cool. Because from memory, Resident Evil 7 didn't have the single hand work. I'm pretty sure you still had to use the controller.
Yeah, the controller, which is why I was like, what the fuck? Why am I still using the
having the full blown VR support, mint. Absolutely mint. What's other games did we check out? The one that I'm actually a big fan of, not surprisingly, but also surprisingly,
it's a fucking townsfolk VR.
Is TownsmenVR.
TownsmenVR. Yeah.
So TownsmenVR is essentially it's how do I explain it? If you ever played Black and White back in the day, that God Sim game, it's kind of like that, but you can get right up in their business. So it's like Black and White meets Lemmings, meets Age of Empires, but because you can get all up in it, it feels like an ant farm in that, like, you've got all this, like, you have this little model set in front of you with these little dudes and peoples, and then you can tell them to go, like, chop wood. And so if you like any of those people management games, like Populous or Civ or anything like that, it kind of has that feeling to it. And I played that shit for hours. I was like, oh, I'll play a little bit of this just to get a taste of it, because we received a review code from the team, so big thank you. And holy shit, I was like, yeah, I'll just play a little bit, and then I'm like,
that game was the highlight for me.
I played it to a point where the headset goes, hey, just so you know, it's real, like, it's too dark in the room, the camera can't pick up where you are. So I press the button, forgetting that the camera's kind of like a night vision. I'm like, it's bright as fuck in here. What are you talking about? Take the headset off, and it is pitch black. Like, because I started playing in like late afternoon and like dusky sort of time, and then it was like fucking pitch black. I was like, that's a problem. But yeah, no, that game is.
I enjoyed just fucking yeeting people. I was feeding people to bears at one point.
Oh.
When you destroy or salvage buildings, you fucking throw giant hammers out of the sky and fucking wreck shit. It's so good.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed it, and this also happened in Horizon as well. Like, if you get your hand close to anyone, they kind of lean back a little bit, so you can't just like phase your finger through them. So
yeah,
like
the narrator is like this disembodied head, and he's like,
Clunkalot is his name.
He's like, dude, you're too fucking close. Back up.
And if you get up near him, he kind of goes. It's very cool. It's very fun to sort of get up in his business, and you just kind of get up close. And you try to like high five him, and he's just like, "Nah, I got no time."
And like, if he's trying to explain shit to you, and you look away, he'll come back into your field of vision. He's like, "Wait, I'm talking."
And just kind of that's it. Tons of fun. Yeah, it was very, very cool. Very, very cool. And yeah, so like for me, it was just like lifting up my little dudes, putting them over like, hey, you can go farm over here now. Oh, we need some more wood. You know, I'm gonna reallocate you over there. You know, and then there's like little animals. There's a little puppy dog. I put him in my hand. I was like, hello, puppy dog, and I dropped him, and he got dizzy. I was like, oh no, I'm sorry, puppy dog. And then a bird came across, and I grabbed that bird and I yeeted it, and it was like, "Bleh," and then it came back, and I was like, that's a nice little bird. That is by far the highlight, because like, yeah, being able to like the added higher resolution of the headset allows you to get up close to it. So it's like, think this USB-C cable that came with the console is the house. You can get like up here, and like the resolution's still tight, and you're like, yeah, okay, cool, that's a nice little detail on that house. Cool. You know. But you know, TownsmenVR is pretty good. It is probably the major highlight at the moment. I busted out the old job simulator and the vacation simulator again, because they're tried and true staples. It's just as good as I remembered.
Yeah.
Without having to worry about your body getting in the way. Was there anything else you checked out?
Humanity.
Yes, this is a
Did you
shadow
play
drop.
Humanity?
No.
Yeah, so Humanity was part of the state of play. It's basically fucking Lemmings, dude.
Yeah.
So this game can be played inside or out of VR. Unfortunately, if you're playing it in VR, it doesn't show up on the TV screen, so it's not one that you can play in front of people. It's just a fucking black screen. But essentially, it's Lemmings. You guide humanity through puzzle levels. It's fucking brilliant. In and out of VR, it's brilliant.
Yeah, because from the trailer,
yeah,
it's the one where there's like hordes of people walking up these little like cube-based levels, and you've got to like puzzle them out to safety, I assume.
It's literally Lemmings.
Fucking Lemmings is cool though, so that's okay.
So yeah, it's a really cool. There's a demo out now that's available, and
Actually,
again,
can I just highlight how
in and out of VR?
There's like 10 demos out at the moment for VR, which is awesome, because like that is the one thing that like it's difficult to demonstrate how a VR game runs, looks, plays when like in its trailer form, right? The only way to really tell if it works or if you'll enjoy it is by literally playing it. And there's like a stack of demos. There's this demo for the Star Wars experience, which I played for like 3 minutes and then stopped. Just because I had to go somewhere. You know, what else? There's a bunch, if you want to check them out. And obviously Humanity is another one. Another one that we got a code for, which I didn't play a lot of, is Tentacular. So you're essentially got two, you know, tentacle octopus arms, and you just pick shit up and eat it. It's kind of like Kaiju the game. Looks pretty fun. The story of it starts up with like, hey, I don't mean to alarm you, but you're adopted. You're not really my brother, says the little human person. And you're like, no. So you eat things. I played it for a little bit, and then it crashed. And I was like, oh, that sucks. I'll play you later, I guess. Didn't go back yet, but I will. Thank you to the team for providing the review code for that one too. I was through Devolver, I'm pretty sure. What else have I been playing? What else have I jammed? Ooh. Let me have a look at my PlayStation. Was there anything else you jumped into, Max?
No, that was pretty much it. I essentially had it for the afternoon and the night, and then I woke up sick today, and I'm like, hey, if you want to play more VR, come pick it up. Because your boy's got a really sore back, and I'm not fucking strapping shit onto my body.
That's fair. One that I'd be keen in the same way that like I got like really enjoyed out of Townsmen VR. City Skylines VR, when that drops, I think will be in that same level of tickle my brain. But yeah, there's nothing else I really jumped into. Like I really, what I feel it needs, I think it needs a good shooter. And I'm sure there's one out there. Apparently, After the Fall's really good. That Pavlov is a cool multiplayer shooter, very similar to Flashpoint Zero Hour. I think that's what it was called, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, was that what it was called? Project Zero? Whatever.
Firewall Zero.
Firewall, thank you. Flashpoint was those
I own it. Firewall's great.
Yeah, the Flashpoint was those PS3 very hardcore PS war simmy sort of games. Yeah, Firewall. That looks pretty cool. There's a new one. I think there's a new Firewall coming, which is cool.
Yep, I think it's out. I think it's there.
Oh, sick. There's a cool puzzle, like a 3D puzzle game, which I know like Phoebe will shit herself over because she does love puzzles.
I just want to fucking play Demio.
Yeah, Demio looks sick. Which
I might pick up next week after payday.
I'll email the people. I'll try email the people, but I've never spoke to them before.
No, it's cool. I'm more than happy to.
But I lost my train of thought.
There's a lot of variety out there.
There is. Like, I am itching for like a good shooter though, and I think that's probably the one thing I'm keen for.
I mean, Pistol Whip is out.
Pistol Whip. Ooh, I did
Whip.
like Pistol Whip. And then, like, I did say there's like a drum game and like a guitar game. I'm like, sure, why not? We'll see what happens. But look, overall, I know we've been talking for like nearly an hour just on PSVR. We haven't fucking done anything yet.
Right, spoiler alert, there's fuck all news this week. We'll be done in like 20 minutes.
Sick. Well, we can't. We've got one more game. We've got a couple of games we need to talk about first that you've played. And one that I've played. I'm just bumping out burps. Yeah, look, it's cool. It's cool gear. I'd wait a little bit. Thankfully, it's not going to be as like product shortage as say the PS5 is. So I think it's probably safe to grab one a little bit later. Overall, the gear is a massive improvement. Could it be better? Yeah, but that comes from the gear. That comes from the titles, the
software
games,
side,
and that will come as you know. I said, if I am correct, which I'm oftenly not, even that sentence was wrong, in grammatically. It would. I do see a lot of ports coming, and that therefore the catalog will increase. Now, I don't know the frequency at which other VR games drop on other platforms. Like, if they release often, then I imagine in time it'll be the same for PSVR. But the downside is there's a lot of quiet time in that headset. But we'll wait and see, I guess. Any final thoughts on that one, Max?
Yeah, waiting is probably, unless you're a huge fan of VR, waiting is probably the best bet.
Yeah. Another game you should probably keep waiting on is Atomic Heart. So thank you to the team over at 5 Star Games Australia for providing us the review code for Atomic Heart. It is the first ever game from a team called Munfish. Atomic Heart is you play, was it Comrade Major? A special operative soldier in this
SP3 or something.
Yeah, in this alternate world universe where Russia won
World War II.
Russia won World War II, and this sort of utopia that would exist if they won. And it's very similar to Wolfenstein in the idea that, like, hey, you know, here's all the intense tech and stuff the Nazis were working on, and now it's whatever, right? Cool. Straight off the bat, for a first ever game, very pretty. Like, when it wants to, like, especially that opening area, and you see the scale, like, everything looks really nice, really, really cool.
And then you hear someone speak.
And then you hear the script, and like, you know, we gave Forspoken a lot of shit, deservedly so. God, Forspoken looks better compared to this, eh?
Mm. It's also just a more enjoyable game.
Yeah. So, like, this game clearly is wearing a lot of inspiration. And that inspiration is the likes of Wolfenstein. It is the likes of Bioshock, but delivers in none of it. Like, one of the great things about Bioshock are the audio diaries and just listening to the characters speak as you hear about this fall of this libertarian, utopia. Mm. It's fascinating. But we're here, so you've got this gruff, very early 2000s macho lead character who, look, as someone that loves a good swear, the swearing in this game is just bad. Like, it's swearing for the sake of swearing, but not even in like a... I'm a good believer in swearing for emphasis. Now, there are times where I swear just because my brain can't think of another word, but, you know, if you can put a swear in the right space, it alters the sentence. It makes you understand. Like, if you say something's broken, okay, it's broken. But if you say something's fucked, like, you know that thing is broken, like, hard, like, it's wrecked, right? But we're here. It's like, part of me just wants to congratulate the game for its advanced swearing badge. Have you ever seen Ali G in the house? You know, it's just like that. You know, what's the little kids say? You know, shit off your hairy dog's cock. It is like the most dumbest sentence, and it's a bunch of swears strung together that mean nothing. It actually becomes a bunch of filler, and none of the characters are engaging. There's unreasonable level of sexualization in this game, and almost to a point of misogyny in the idea, like, there's this vending machine that you go to upgrade your guns and your not Bioshock plasmids, and the machine, like, has this, like, you know, sultry porn star level, you know, like, oh yeah, big boy, put your fucking thing, you know, like, it's to that point, right? Obviously delivered very differently to that, because that was not sultry at all.
That's pretty much it.
But yeah, not in the same, like, monotone voice that I gave it, but
it's like Austin Power fembots on roids.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a vending machine, and like, why is this vending machine hitting on me, like, aggressively so? And it was actually like, I have no issue when it comes to anyone being like sexual, you know, whatever. I don't give a flying fuck. You do you. I'm not here to yuck your yum, right? But like, watching that, hearing that, and I'm like, if I were the woman that did that, I would be embarrassed. If I was the man sitting in that recording booth pressing record on that, I would feel embarrassed. And they put it in the game. I was embarrassed as being near it. Like, it was fucking weird. It was so weird.
It's weird though, because like, a lot of the trailers for this game, I was sold that this game was like this weird love child of Doom and Bioshock. Like, it has Mick Gordon doing the soundtrack again, who's, you know, big from Doom.
I love Mick Gordon. Good
and it's just not great. Like, the gameplay is bland and boring. The overarching story is just not great.
Yeah, but like, we should specify, it's not even the politics of it as well. It's not like that's the issue of the game, is that, oh, it's this utopian future, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, Wolfenstein is the same, a very similar premise.
Yeah.
That game's great, especially like New Colossus. It was my game of the year the year it came out. And New Colossus was brilliant, right? This is bad. Yeah. And like, look, I understand, first game, and I'm like, in terms of a first game, once again, visually, well done. Absolutely well done. Like, if you could deliver visual quality of a game like this on your first ever game, if you can nail down the rest, you're a force to be reckoned with. However, like, and I think this is a greater discussion piece in the industry. The idea of, like, you know, oh, it just look, you know, the focus on graphics to the extent of everything else. Like, even like, because once again, you could look at this in comparative to Forspoken. It's a lead character who the script is horrendous. They have a talking wrist device, and the banter between them is painful. But, you know, it's just like, even
it's very weird that you avatar fuck this machine with your glove.
Yeah, but even then, it's like the level of alpha energy, quote unquote, like the guy delivers. Like, he talks down to this fucking wrist glove, glove thing that he talks to. You know, he's like, it says, hey, my name's this, and it's like, yeah, nah, fuck you, mate. You know, I'm this fucking alpha. I don't go talk to people however I want. You know, I'm gonna call you piece of shit because, like, that's what I can do. Like, it had that level of just, I wouldn't quite say what, like, an internet message board believes to be the ultimate masculine individual, but it was fucked. Like, look, as someone that, like, I'm not overly masculine. Like, I'm in many of the ways that what people identify. If this is what thinks someone a cool, you know, man is, couldn't be happier that I'm not that person. I feel I may have, like, is there anything you want to add, or do I just happen to hit all the beats?
Oh, you hit everything.
Cool. You've been playing a really good game, though.
Yeah, I have. So thank you to the team over at Namco Australia. I've been playing Octopath Traveller 2.
And Square.
Square, yes. Yeah. I unfortunately haven't been able to put as much time in it as I was like, because, you know, sick, doing a lot of stuff, preparing for the move. The game's great. So Octopath Traveller 2 is essentially a same style game as Octopath Traveller 1. It's that 2.5D pixelated isometric role-playing game, and it's mint. A lot more of the characters are now voice acted. Almost all dialogue is voice acted now, which is brilliant. They did the same Easter egg where the 8 characters that you can pick from, they're the first initial of their first name spell out Octopath. So that's cool. And it does the same thing as last time. You can play it. You can pick any of the characters to start with. You play through their little bit of story, and then you go and do the rest of the stories. The big changer here is you now have a night-day cycle. So instead of just having the one, I believe they're called path actions, you now have 2. So during the day you can do one thing. So I started as the dancer. So during the day you can allure people and steal their shit. Like, hey, give me some stuff, because I'm like,
hey, give me
I can dance real good. And then at nighttime you can be like, hey, I can dance real good. Come and protect me when I go fight monsters. Come join my party. We'll go fuck shit up together. So that's cool.
I like how I went for like a sort of.
That's pretty no joke. That's pretty much the animation that plays as you do that.
Nailed it.
But it's that same role playing game that if you loved Octopath 1, it is more of the same plus bonuses. So now there's interjoining stories between the characters. So you have these moments between these travel moments between 2 characters where they deepen their stories together, as opposed to just the singular stories of the previous title. But the game that 2.5D pixelated art style ages so well and looks good no matter where it comes from.
Yeah.
You've seen, just not just in this, but in Octopath 1, Bravely Default, all of those styles of games that have that pixelated graphic style in that 2.5D isometric view, they really do stand the test of time. And it's great. Whereas you go back and you look at those early 3D RPGs and you're like, ooh, that has not aged well. So I've only put in like an hour and a half at the moment. Like, I am super, super early. But I'm loving it. This checks all the boxes for me. Like that turn-based combat, that story-driven, the character-driven story. It's just it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna take me all right, but at the moment I'm really digging it.
Yeah, Crimson in the chat goes, Octopath is all right.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah, mostly not for everyone. and I get that. Like, even for me, I was like, no. No. Oh. I love it. Like the aesthetic wins me over. I'm like, oh, this game looks beautiful. Will I play it? No.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. Yeah. But there you go. An hour in. That's all the games we've been playing this week. Fucking hell. Shout out to busy week. And then it's not even done yet. Like, thanks to the team over at Double Jump Communications here in Australia, you've got access to Destiny next week.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday. So like,
I just got a message from my Destiny partner. Apparently, the Lightfall update got pushed early in EU and Japan. So unless you uninstall the game and reinstall it, you can't play it until launch. But that's fine. I don't plan on playing it again until the new content drops. So it's just sitting there ready to preload.
Sick.
I am keen as a bean.
Yeah. So like, it's all, as you said, you're pretty much like going to smash its teeth in, and then be able to
go back to doing everything else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm really keen to see what you have to say. Like, you are like a massive Destiny fan. As I said, it's the game that you are married to. I think that's you will have.
It's a game that somehow always wins me back.
Cool.
So should we?
Yeah. Right, now we'll get into the section we call Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation.
So the big news, obviously, is the state of play, and the state of play killed Suicide Squad for me.
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, it sure did.
So I'll quickly run through all the announcements, and then we can go back and talk about it.
Yeah.
So obviously, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. We got an extended
we'll go through them bit by bit, because like it will touch. Obviously, the big ones are at the front, and the rest kind of But yeah, as you're saying.
Yeah, we got 15 minutes of gameplay for Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and then like
we found out that it requires a fucking internet connection to play solo. It's a live service game that's not a live service game, but is a live service game.
All right,
it's just not what I want.
No,
from this team.
The thing that I don't understand here, right? The thing I don't understand is Gotham Knights was bum, but you know what WB said? Let's make 2 of them. Because Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is just more of that. It's 4-player co-op unnecessarily. It's Fortnite in terms of jumping and shooting. Like it looks nothing like what I want. What I want is more Arkham. But this ain't it. But technically it kind of is. Like it's within the same universe-ish. And like this is Kevin Conroy's last fucking role. Remember months ago when I talked about watching that trailer and I fucking cried at the idea of hearing Kevin Conroy again, knowing that he has passed. This is the last thing I'll ever see him in. What a shit on his grave. The game looks fine. It's bad. Will I play it? Most definitely. Am I happy to be proven wrong? Most definitely. Do I feel that I will? Nope.
Pretty much. I did not go away jazzed from that.
Yeah, and they're like, live service games need to fuck off. They need to fuck right off. For a number of different reasons. One, no one has enough time to play all these games, so fuck off. Just make, like, these ideas perpetual games. Like, I know WB Games was having some troubles there. So both Gotham Knights and this are likely a response of them trying to make money because this belief that, you make a games as a service and you just swim in money, which couldn't be more wrong in general. Like, it's fucked. Like, all it's going to do is make this game crash quicker. Like, oh, it's got a battle pass and it's all cosmetic. Then why make one? Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? You know what was really good about the Arkham games? Not a battle pass full of cosmetics. It was you know what made it a really good game? It was a really fucking good game. Fuck them. Next. Speaking of really good single-player games.
Resident Evil 4. So we got a trailer, confirming demo coming soon, and a Mercenaries mode.
Yeah, it looks sick. That game looks great. Like, having played Resident Evil 4 a year ago, like, that game is awesome. And I'm very keen to play it again in the remake. I want to, because as we've discussed when we talked about Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake, they've made changes to the overall story to sort of connect them all together a bit more cohesively. Even down to Resident Evil 3 having the weird fucking head fungi things. The Las Plagas. Yeah, so that's kind of cool to connect them all together. The game just looks amazing. It looks so much better. Like, it doesn't look just that same shade of brown that Resident Evil 4 had. Having a demo soon is really good. One of the great things I loved about Resident Evil 7 and Village was these little demos, like the kitchen demo, all these little things that sort of tease it out. Just makes me more excited for it. Like, Resident Evil 4 is unanimously a brilliant fucking game.
Street Fighter 6, we had Cammy, Zangief, and Lily revealed.
I don't know who they are, but Zangief did a bunch of sick wrestling moves. He did like Goldberg's jackhammer. It popped me really hard. I
think Cammy and Zangief have been in almost all the Street Fighter games. I think they're like the OG guys.
Yeah, and like I know the internet's collectively shitting their pants at Cammy. She has this weird stretch that kind of pushes her butt out. And one of the quotes that I saw that made me fucking chuckle was that like her like bend, like that made the like as like her butt and back was like a shelf that you could put like a 2,000 piece puzzle on. I don't know why, but that fucking made me snort because it's just such a specific reference. It's not for me, like whatever, but like. I'm
not a fan of the butt puzzle.
No, I don't know. I don't normally focus on the butt puzzles, but like the idea of it made me laugh really hard. But yeah, Zangief probably pretty hard with his wrestling. What about you? Because you're a big Street Fighter fan.
Well, we played Street Fighter 6 at PAX last year, and I'm keen. I mean, I've been keen since I played it. Street Fighter's always been cool. Although in saying that, Mortal Kombat 12 is also coming this year, and I'm a bigger Mortal Kombat guy, so I'm super excited for that.
Give me some more Tekken. I want more Tekken.
Cheer. New trailer.
I thought it was Cheer, so I'm going to guess it's Cheer.
Cheer? I think it's Cheer. New trailer, dropping day one on PlayStation Extra, 21st of March.
It looks sweet. It looks cool. I'll play it.
Looks cool. Humanity, as we spoke about earlier, PS5, PSVR2 puzzle game. Demo is currently live. Destiny 2 Lightfall got its launch trailer.
I still love the logo. It looks exactly like Lightyear, the Disney Pixar movie.
It's great. I'm super excited. Foundation. Isaac Asimov's sci-fi novels are coming to PlayStation VR2. Keen for that. Great. Synapse, a PlayStation VR2 game from the Fract devs, In Dreams. If you played Fract,
Get fracked, mate.
Get Fract. MGB put in the chat PSVR1 2 as well for humanity, which is sweet.
So also PSVR 1 also, not PSVR 1 2, because that just hurt my brain. Yeah.
The Foglands is a PSVR2 roguelike coming later this year.
Cool.
Goodbye Volcano High is apparently finally coming out in June.
Ew. Like, okay, I was already pooping on this game because of its like weird furry-esque, with dinosaurs that can speak and be anthropomorphic. That was weird. Once had a cigarette for some reason. That hurt my brain. But then it looks to be very similar to, say, Danganronpa. In like it's that kind of like text based, and they kind of stand in front of you and they're more cartoony looking.
That visual novel style.
Thank you, visual. I was trying to pull the word out
Right,
of my butt, but I couldn't. Thank you.
Next up, Green Hell VR coming later this year with PlayStation VR2 port.
Sure.
So game that's already out. Next is Naruto Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections, which is basically a fucking super Ninja Storm game all built into one.
Don't care.
I'm pretty keen.
You would.
Yeah.
I heard Weeb voice acting and I went, ugh! And then, I wasn't even playing GT7 that time. I just vommed in my lounge room for other reasons.
Wayfinder coming to PlayStation 5 and 4 early access, available in May.
Yeah, I thought that one looked familiar, like we've seen it before.
The highlight for me was Before Your Eyes. It's a PSVR 2 title where you control the entire game with your eyes.
Crimson just brought up a very good point. He goes, hey, did you notice that there was a car in Volcano High? What is the car running on? As we know, it's a hydrogen. That's probably the answer. But yeah,
it's a fucking electric car, mate. So it's clearly not running on
fossil fuels. Weren't a thing in Volcano because the dinosaurs hadn't happened yet. Before
it's a solar-powered car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Before Your Eyes. So basically, it's one of those visual novel style games.
Fucking pedaling underneath.
And it literally puts into effect blink and you'll miss it. So the game progresses every time you close your eyes. So
I love that concept.
The faster the game runs.
I love that concept.
Yeah, too bad if you're like fucking dry-eyed and you're just like speed running that shit, like blinking real fast.
Or like having a screen this close to your face makes you blink a lot because it's just bombarding light at it. But yeah, it's a really cool concept. The idea is like you blink and then that's the transition. Like it's a really, really cool idea, and I cannot wait to sort of see it come through. But one of the things they did also announce during the state of play was the upcoming PlayStation Plus announcement. So they said the essential titles are the ones you get free for the month. Battlefield 2042, which is pretty cool, knowing off the back of what we discussed last week with the Season 4 trailer, having it come in here. Really cool. That game does need...
Perfect. Literally perfect timing.
Yeah, couldn't be better. Minecraft Dungeons, apparently you said it's pretty fucking poo.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I'll play with my kid because I played like 6 hours this weekend. So yesterday I played like 2, did like 4 hours of Minecraft online with my son. That was so much fun. And then Code Vein, as you've written here.
Oh yeah, whoops, my bad.
Yeah.
Code Vein maybe.
It's a Soulsborne, isn't it?
Kind of Souls-like. I think I've played it. Yeah.
And the extra / deluxe tier for us is Cheer, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves, Immortals Phoenix Rising. That game is so good. Rainbow Six Extraction, which the game probably needs the free players, and Ghostwire Tokyo. Yeah, which in other words, that similar to Deathloop.
When's the exclusivity ending for Ghostwire?
Oh, like next month, I'm sure. Like, it's one of those things where it's right there. It's right there. So they're like, hey, you have it for free, so no one will buy it on Xbox. Fucks.
Some quick biddies. According to rumors from the VGC Weekly podcast, there's mention of a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake and a new Castlevania title on the way.
This ain't new. Like, I've heard about the Metal Gear Solid 3 thing for yonks. And I want it.
God of War brings home 7 awards from the DICE Awards.
Yeah, it did.
Still can't nab Game of the Year.
Yeah.
For Funzy, Elden Ring won 6 awards.
And won all the ones that count, according to you.
Yeah. And Fall Guys Level Editor coming with the next seasonal update. So you can make your own Fall Guys levels.
Cool. Actually, that's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool. And we have the upcoming titles for this coming week. So on the 28th of February, we have Destiny 2 Lightfall coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Scars Above, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Void Asterix TR LM2 open close parentheses semicolon / Void Terrarium 2 coming to PS4.
Did you just have a have a stroke?
Fucking nailed that. On the 1st of March, we've got Bendy and the Dark Revival coming to PS5 and PS4.
I kind of should play, like, my son, because my son watches a bunch of bullshit YouTube videos, and Bendy's very popular, and apparently it looks pretty fun.
Brock the Investigator, PS5, PS4.
Oh, so Brock's not a Pokemon breeder anymore, he's Pokemon Investigator.
No, it's Investigator.
Oh, he's an alligator now. Investigator does sound like a Pokemon.
Fight and Rage, PS5, and Leap, PS5, PS4. On the 2nd of March.
Did you say Leap because it's all capitalized? Nice.
On the 2nd of March, we have Mayhem in Single Valley, PS5, PS4. And 3rd of March, No Longer Home, PS5, PS4, and Wolong the Fallen Dynasty, PS5, PS4.
I think Wolong is the one that you're probably the most keen for.
It's clearly Destiny 2, but Wolong's a very close second.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm kind of interested in Void Asterix TRLM2 open close parentheses / Void Terrarium 2. 2.
Wow. You did you practice that? You nailed that in like 2 straight goes. Like bam and then bam.
It's one of those useless skills that I have.
Cool. I have many useless skills. Actually, I don't really have any skills, but like it's fun times. But yeah, I can't read out weird fucking game titles in one go without fucking up. So that's pretty cool.
But also, it doesn't help when I also mistype everything when I give it to you on the news.
That's true. That is very true. There is a lot of errors in there. But
I'll take that one for the team.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing in that list that has me excited. So I'll probably just play more VR. I'll hopefully roll credits on Hogwarts because I keep going back to that too. And I guarantee I'll be playing a fuckload of Minecraft because my kid is like shitting himself excited. He's having such a blast. But something else I've been playing that I was supposed to fucking roll credits on. Could be 1,000 different things.
All credits on Hogwarts.
Yeah, I'm in Trial 2 at the moment.
Oh, mate, Trial 3 is where it's at.
Yeah, so you finished the game in less time than it took me to get to Trial 2.
Yeah, I don't fuck around.
I do. But anyway,
it also helps when I can clear an entire room of enemies with one spell.
That's very true. Very true. Speaking of not fucking around, let's get this bad boy up and done for the day. Big thank you everyone for checking out, listening to this like slightly extended edition of the show as we dive balls deep into some PSVR2. So thank you very much for taking this time.
It's just a good thing that it was news light this week.
Oh,
well, everybody, you know the drill. This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Sorry, were you still saying something? Did I interrupt you there?
Nah.
No,
I totally wasn't. I had nothing left in me. Look, I've fucking faked my way through this whole episode. Like, I got nothing left in me.
Yeah, my voice is going to die soon, so I should probably shake this leg. But this PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. But again, if you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, come and check out our socials. Twitter, Discord, and Instagram. All of those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/popculturist. If you want to join the show live, you can. Wait. Yeah, if you want to join the show live, Twitch.tv. Hang on, let's start that again. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/popculturist. We can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast service, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/popculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts, other sort of shit with our logos on it. And yes, we do also have Pay ID. And I will not give it to my brother. I'll just make you pay it for me directly. And Max has put in our chat what our Pay ID email is. And it's go fuck yourself at scammerpayback.com. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was for the players.
I need to go take a piss real bad.
Oh, I'm leaving that in.